You are currently losing a war against your own biology, and the perfect morning routine you found online is the very weapon being used against you. Most high achievers are waking up early to win the day, only to find that by noon they are cognitively bankrupt and physically retreating. Chapter 1. The Myth of the Flatline Day. We have been conditioned to view our time as a series of identical blocks on a calendar, but your body doesn't speak the language of clocks. It speaks the language of energy. When you force a rigid, high-intensity routine onto your morning, you're essentially trying to sprint before your internal systems have even finished their boot sequence. Your brain is a high-performance organ that consumes 20% of your daily caloric intake just to function. During the night, your brain runs a biological cleaning crew that flushes out metabolic waste and toxins through your cerebral spinal fluid. If you cut this process short with a blaring alarm and an immediate 15-step checklist, you're attempting to work in a cluttered office filled with yesterday's trash. This lack of a full reset means you start your day at a deficit, regardless of how much caffeine you consume. Chapter 2. The Decision Tax. Every task you perform in that productive first hour, from choosing your workout clothes to deciding which journal prompt to answer, is a withdrawal from a finite bank account of mental energy. This is known as decision fatigue. By the time you actually sit down to do the work that moves the needle for your career or life, your decision-making muscle is already trembling from overexertion. Visual. A stickman with a heavy backpack labeled Morning Habits, trying to climb a mountain labeled Important. High performers often mistake being busy for being effective. They stack their mornings with junk food habits, activities that feel productive but actually drain the battery required for deep, meaningful focus later in the day. If your routine requires 40% of your daily willpower just to complete the prep work, you have already lost the most valuable part of your day to the effort paradox. The harder you try to force productivity through a complex routine, the more your actual output eludes you. Chapter 3. Riding the Energy Wave. Biological energy does not move in a straight line. It moves in a curve. For most people, there is a natural rise in energy after waking, followed by a significant dip in the late afternoon and a secondary peak in the early evening. Common productivity habits often ignore this wave entirely. When you fight your natural circadian rhythm by forcing high-output tasks during a biological low, or by overscheduling during a peak without recovery, you create an energy debt. Most people view their evening exhaustion as a separate issue, but it is actually the interest payment on the energy you mismanaged in the morning. To master your day, you must stop trying to be a CEO of time and start being a surfer of energy, matching your most demanding tasks to the points where your biological wave is at its highest. Chapter 4. The Tyranny of Morning You. There is a psychological disconnect between morning you, who sets the ambitious goals, and evening you, who has to live with the consequences of an overextended schedule. When you design a routine that is too intense, you are acting as a tyrant to your future self. This creates internal friction that leads to burnout and a sense of constant failure. The secret isn't more discipline, it's better architecture. Successful systems make the right choices automatic so they don't require willpower. Instead of a 47-step routine, you need keystone habits, 1 or 2 simple actions that signal to your brain that the day has begun without draining your cognitive reserves. By simplifying the start, you preserve your energy for the 20% of tasks that actually produce 80% of your results. The core insight: true productivity is not about how much you can cram into the first hour of sunlight. It is about how much energy you can preserve for the moments that truly matter. Stop trying to win a sprint at 5 a.m. if it means you'll be limping across the finish line at 5 p.m. The most effective morning routine is the one that feels so simple it's almost invisible. If you're ready to stop fighting your biology and start working with it, hit that subscribe button to join a community focused on intentional living. Leave a comment below. What is one productive habit you're going to cut this week to save your energy? I've also just opened up a Patreon for those who want deeper dives into energy management and life design. Build your energy, protect your focus, and I'll see you in the next video.